welcome to the Houston Zoo. My name is Cheka. I'm a primate keeper here at the Houston Zoo, and I'd like to welcome you to our brand new orangutan habitat. It's been under construction for the last 4.5 months, and we just now opened it to the public this week, and our orangutans are really enjoying it, so we'd like to take you up on an up-close and personal view of our new orangutan habitat. So follow me. Today we have 2 orangutans out on exhibit, but we do have 4 total orangutans here at the Houston Zoo. You're not going to ever see them all out together at once because orangutans are a semi-solitary species, which means they do mostly live alone in the wild, except for when mothers are raising their young or when males and females come together to breed. So you'll only ever see a maximum of 2 orangutans out at the Houston Zoo currently. Today we have Kelly and Rudy outside. Rudy is 42 years old. He is our only adult male. And we have Kelly, who just turned 40 years old just recently. We're going to take you over to our moat viewing here at the orangutan exhibit. This is the open viewing that we have.
Okay, we're going that way now.
So we've got Rudy up here right at the front. He's sitting on the ground. And we've got Kelly just above him to his left. As you can see, we've done a lot of improvements to our new exhibit. If you notice, we have 3 very large shade structures. It's given them a lot more shade than they had in the past because it can get very hot here in the summers, and it's really nice for them to have some cooling and some shade. If you notice, there's a lot of naturalistic vines and a lot of arboreal areas, and we also have 2 platforms that are up high. Orangutans are one of the largest arboreal species, which means that they spend most of their time in the trees. Which you wouldn't know today by the way that Kelly and Rudy are mostly on the ground, but Aurora, our youngster, likes to spend pretty much all of her time up high, so those platforms are really great for her. We're going to do a few food tosses for these guys. We've got some ice pops for them, which are a nice treat. We like to do ice pops here as something to cool them off and to hydrate them. Rudy's thinking about going over there and getting some. These are basically just frozen diluted juice. Sometimes we'll put pieces of banana or blueberries or peanuts and freeze them inside, so they have to work at it a little bit more. Orangutans are a very smart great ape species, and so we do like to provide them with lots of enrichment to keep their minds stimulated and to give them ways to manipulate their environment. So Rudy is the dominant animal out here, so a lot of times he will get first choice to food, and if Kelly chooses to go over and grab some, she might as well. We also have 4 species of turtles in this exhibit. There's actually 25 turtles in the moat right now. Previously in our exhibit we had a moat that was just a half circle around. Now, which you can't see from here, but the moat goes all the way on the back of this island so that the turtles have more space and they have a little bit of a lazy river so they can go into some shallow water. So this has not only improved the welfare of our orangutans, but it's improved the welfare of our turtles as well. Andrew asks, how old is Rudy? Rudy is 42 years old. Great apes and orangutans in particular can live up to about 50 years in captivity. So Rudy's older, but he's doing quite well. Kelly is actually 40 years old. And Cheyenne is our oldest orangutan here. She is 48 years old, and she lives with her daughter Aurora, who is 9 years old. They are inside right now. Behind this rock wall, they have their indoor holding, which consists of 6 very large cages and a overhead roof tunnel that connects one end of our building to the other, so that even when animals are inside, they actually have the option to get some outside time as well. So we usually rotate who comes out on exhibit every day. Some days Cheyenne Aurora will be out, some days just Kelly will be out by herself, some days Rudy out by himself. We always give Kelly and Rudy the choice to be together, so they don't always come out together every day. We make sure we give our animals lots of choices about where they want to be and what they want to do. Also, we're going to throw out some juice balls. These actually have some currants in them, and there's a little piece of tape on them so things don't fly out. This is another enrichment thing that we can give them out on exhibit. Rudy just caught it in his hand. Did a great job. What do orangutans eat? That's a great question. So in the wild, they mostly eat fruit. Here at the zoo, we have a very specially formulated diet for them. that consists of biscuits that are formulated with all the minerals and nutrients that they need. They get a lot of leafy greens such as romaine, kale, cabbage, which they do have some cabbage out on exhibit today. And then in the afternoon, they get vegetables and fruit. So they get one fruit and one vegetable every day. And just like us, they have preferences. Like Rudy doesn't like his peas. They get carrots, sweet potatoes, bananas, blueberries. They get a large assortment of fruit that our animal nutrition department provides for us. So as you can see, Kelly's trying to get those currants out of that juice ball. There's a small hole in the top, so she kind of has to work at it a little bit to get everything out of there. So this is just one example of enrichment. Megan asked, how long have they been here? Well, Aurora, our youngster, was born here, so she's been here 9 years. Rudy, Kelly, and Cheyenne, they are all older. They have actually been here for decades. So Houston Zoo has been their home for quite a long time. Orangutans are from Indonesia. They are only found on the islands of Borneo and Sumatra, and they live in the rainforests. They are the only arboreal grade 8 species, mostly arboreal. They also, which is very unique to them, they make nests every single night. So in the wild, they would use tree branches and leaves to make really elaborate nests every night. So here at the zoo, we make sure we give them materials to make a nest every night, whether it's hay or wood wool. Sometimes they add paper in there. So all of the females get a black tub and they stuff all of their hay and everything in there and make a nice comfy nest. And we do the same for Rudy. So we like to encourage as many natural behaviors as possible. Rudy and Kelly seem to be looking for a little bit more food. They're kind of seeing what's going on over here. So as you notice, there are a lot of new features to this exhibit. We've maximized more use of space this way. So this front part right here that you're seeing is actually an island, and there is a bridge coming from the back part of the exhibit to the front part of the exhibit. They can cross on a lower bridge, or they can cross up on this tall fake log up here. So they have multiple ways to get across over to the island. And then in the back, we have more vines that they can use, and so there's lots of ways for them to maximize use of space out here. We're going to go over and look at another viewing from our orangutan exhibit at our Turtle Beach area. This is a brand new feature that we have. This actually adds a third viewing to this exhibit. And this is a place where our turtles could potentially come on land if they wanted to come bask in the sun or just to get out of the water for a little while. But it also is a great area for us to see the orangutans from another point of view. As you can see, this island kind of juts out here, and the orangutans can come right up on here if they wanted to. So this is a brand new feature that improves the welfare of our turtles and gives them more space. Right now there aren't any turtles out here on the beach, but we feed them every morning. They get fed a variety of things. They get fed romaine lettuce every day, sweet potatoes, oranges, turtle pellets, algae wafers, and we scatter them across the moat. So sometimes every now and then you might see a turtle poke its head out of the water, but in the mornings they're usually more active because they know they're about to get fed. Kim asked, do the orangs get in the water? That's a really great question. So orangutans do not swim. These guys will not get in the water. They have a very heavy body weight and they would not be buoyant in the water. So that's what's great about this exhibit, is we can keep it open air so that the public has a better way of viewing them, but they cannot cross over this moat. So our new exhibit today features a new viewing where we're at right now, which is Turtle Beach, which we also have our moat viewing. And in a minute, we're gonna go over to our window viewing. But our exhibit has a lot of new features. First of all, we've added a lot of shade to our new exhibit. We have 3 very large shade structures. So they have a lot more shade than they had in the past. We also have 2 high platforms for them to lay on because orangutans do like to be arboreal, and they do like to sit up there and watch everybody. So we have 2 high platforms, one on the island and one in the back of the exhibit. And we also have all of the logs and the vines that you're seeing are all brand new. So these are all great climbing structures for them that allow them to use multiple layers in this exhibit. Are they endangered? Yes. All 3 species of orangutans are critically endangered. So it's very important for everyone to learn about them, because saving them in the wild is of critical importance. So yes, they are endangered. Now we're going to go over to our glass viewing, and hopefully Rudy and Kelly will join us over here. What can we help do to save them? That's a great question. So the Houston Zoo partners with organizations that help plant trees in the wild, which helps create new habitat for orangutans. So this is a very cool new feature of our exhibit. We have a little food chute, a food portal. So if you can see, this door closes, but it opens, and there is a little PVC tube that runs through this rockwork and out the other side, so we can actually feed them treats. This is something we did not have before, so this allows us to get the orangutans up close and personal for guests, and we can also do training sessions with them up here. So we can only feed pretty small treats up here. I have some peanuts, sometimes we can feed grapes, something small and easy that will slide right out. I'm going to see if I can get them over here. There we go. So one just popped out. I'll see if they notice. It looks like Rudy's heading over here. He noticed a peanut come out. Peanuts are a nice treat for them. Hi, Rudy.
Oh, you use a trim.
So you notice he's sticking his fingers up there. That's his way of telling me that he wants more. Popped right into his hand. If you notice, orangutans have very long arms in comparison to their legs. That is also because they're an arboreal species and they need to have a lot of strength and muscle in those arms to climb through the trees. Kelly came over here to have a look. Anything come out, Rudy?
Rudy.
He's sticking his fingers up there. And now he's actually showing you a good example of tool use. He's actually taking a stick up there and trying to see if he can pull something out of there. Can you pull some out of there, Rudy? Looks like you might have to stick that stick up there and try and get some. Doesn't look like he's gonna let Kelly have any. He is the dominant animal out here. Looks like he's looking inside of it to see what he can see. But this gives guests a really good up close and personal view of our orangutans and gets them right up to the glass. And Rudy actually prefers to be up at the glass a lot. He loves to people watch, he loves guests. And so does Kelly. So being up at the glass is a really nice way for them to see people up close and personal. Looks like he got all those peanuts out of there and is enjoying those right now. If you notice, Rudy is quite large compared to Kelly. Males are much larger than females. Rudy weighs about 260 pounds, and Kelly, in comparison, weighs about 130 pounds. So you can see that males are much bigger than females. You'll also notice on Rudy's face he has these large cheek pads. That's something that only fully grown adult males have, and it's thought to be a sign of dominance and also to attract females. And those cheek pads are just kind of made of fatty tissue. It also helps their long call resonate. Orangutans have a long call, and that also helps to attract females and to alert rivals and neighboring territories that is their territory. Rudy does his long call quite a bit. He mostly does it inside with a big display where he'll take heavy things and bang them around to kind of show you that you're in his house and he's in charge. I wanted to thank everyone for tuning in. We do Facebook Live every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Rudy and Kelly really appreciate you joining us, and every time you buy a ticket to the Houston Zoo, you are helping save endangered animals in the wild. Thank you so much. Bye.
Good job.